Have you ever wondered why, lately, it seems like the very forces that once tried to destroy you are now working in your favor? Why the same energies that tried to block you are suddenly making way for you? Why even the dark spirits, the ones sent to stop your destiny, are now bending under the weight of your purpose? This isn't random. This is spiritual law. And today, it's being exposed. When you're chosen, even darkness has no choice but to serve the light inside you. It sounds impossible, doesn't it? That evil could be forced to serve the very soul it once attacked. That the traps the enemy set could become stepping stones toward your calling. But here's what most people don't understand. When God marks you, He doesn't just protect you from the dark. He uses it. Everything that was meant to break you becomes a part of your building. Every betrayal becomes a platform. Every loss becomes leverage. And every spirit, whether light or dark, falls under divine authority. There's a reason the attacks on your life increased when you started awakening. When your purpose began to rise, the opposition got louder, stronger, sneakier. But instead of destroying you, it refined you. Instead of silencing you, it sharpened you. Instead of crushing you, it crowned you. You became more powerful than what came against you. And now, even the dark knows it. That's why things are starting to shift. That's why what used to scare you doesn't. What used to confuse you now gives you clarity. What used to delay you now accelerates you. Because the authority you walk in now demands submission, even from the shadows. Understand this. In the spiritual realm, rank is real. And the enemy doesn't fear noise. He fears authority. And once you realize who you are, once you stop begging and start commanding, everything around you changes. Because now, when the dark comes close, it doesn't find a victim. It finds a vessel filled with power. You stopped fighting for survival and started walking in dominion. And this is what's being exposed. The reason you were attacked wasn't because you were weak. It was because you were dangerous. Your calling threatened the system of darkness. Your light exposed too many lies. Your voice broke too many chains. So they came for you. The enemy sent confusion. He sent loneliness. He tried to twist your mind, sabotage your peace, and poison your vision. But what he didn't count on was your endurance. What he underestimated was your connection to God. And now you're walking in a new level. A level where even the darkness has to bow. Where the very demons sent to discourage you are now becoming messengers that reveal hidden enemies. Where every weapon formed against you is now being repurposed, not to wound you, but to witness your rise. The devil doesn't get to win. Not when you've been chosen. Not when you've survived everything that should have taken you out. Not when you've stared hell in the face and refused to fold. See, what they don't tell you is, light doesn't eliminate darkness by running away from it. Light walks into the room and changes the atmosphere. And that's you now. You're not running anymore. You're not hiding. You're not begging for peace. You are the peace that makes spirits tremble. Because you've learned how to sit in the storm and speak to it. You've learned how to walk through the valley and not fear the shadow. You've learned how to stop asking why it happened and start using it for God's glory. You're no longer confused about the warfare. You expect it. And that expectation, that awareness, that discernment, that's what makes you unstoppable. Because now you understand the rules of the game. And more importantly, you understand the power of the God who called you. You're not asking the dark to leave anymore. You're commanding it. You're telling every spirit that tries to stand in your way, you don't have authority here. I do. And that authority isn't arrogant, it's anointed. When you've been through the fire and didn't burn, through the water and didn't drown, you stop doubting your position. You stop questioning your assignment. You start walking with a holy confidence, one that says, yes, I've been through hell, but I didn't come out empty-handed. I came out with fire in my eyes and oil on my name. That's why you feel the shift. That's why you sense the spiritual tension. Because now, The darkness that once tried to distract you now reports to you. You're a commander in the spirit now. What once intimidated you now obeys you. What once blocked you now clears your path. Not because you're perfect, but because you're positioned. Your pain positioned you. Your trials trained you. Your silence strengthened you. And now, your presence shakes the unseen. Every time you walk into a room, something shifts. Not because of your words, but because of your witness. You carry the evidence of survival, the residue of divine encounters, the scars that prove you wrestled with darkness and won. And now, that same darkness is being used by God to serve you, to sharpen your wisdom, to keep you alert, to push you further into His will. This is why you're seeing strange things, people revealing themselves, attacks that expose hidden agendas, dreams that carry warnings, gut feelings that turn out to be spot on. It's not paranoia, it's power. Your spirit is locked in now. Your discernment is activated. And the dark can't trick you like it used to. Because even when it shows up, it has to serve you. That's the spiritual reversal. The enemy thought he'd take you out, but instead, he pushed you right into the arms of God. And now, you're untouchable. And now, you're untouchable. Because the battle didn't break you, it revealed you. The storm didn't drown you, it baptized you into power. And the darkness didn't kill your light, it made it burn brighter. Every test, every attack, every betrayal was part of the setup. Heaven wasn't watching to see if you'd collapse. Heaven was watching to see if you'd rise. And you did. You rose. And now you carry a frequency that cannot be faked. The spiritual weight of someone who's been through the war and came back with wisdom. You carry spiritual rank now. And the dark knows it. That's why you're not being attacked the way you used to be. Not because the enemy gave up, but because he can't get in the way he used to. He doesn't have access like before. The same doors he used to walk through are now sealed. Because you grew, you healed, you matured, you prayed different, you saw the patterns, you caught the cycles, and you shut them down. And now God is honoring that. He's elevating you into rooms you didn't even ask for. He's giving you favor that wasn't supposed to reach you. Because in the natural, you don't have the resume, the resources, or the network. But in the spirit, you've got clout. Because God doesn't promote talent. He promotes trust. And you prove that when everything went silent, you still stood. When the enemy thought you'd doubt your calling, you doubled down on it. And when the darkness tried to isolate you, you leaned in closer to God. That's what gave you the key. That's what gave you command. That's what shifted the atmosphere. So now when dark spirits get near, they're not there to torment you. They're there to tremble. They're there to witness your power. They're there to push you faster into your assignment because God is using everything, even them, for your good. Yes, even them. That witch who cursed you, God turned it into discernment. That narcissist who manipulated you, God used it to sharpen your self-worth. That attack on your mind, God used it to expose the cracks in your foundation so He could rebuild you stronger. Nothing was wasted. Not one tear. Not one betrayal. Not one loss. All of it was raw material. And now you're becoming the very thing the enemy tried to prevent. A threat, a voice, a warrior, a light source. And light doesn't need to fight darkness. It simply shows up, because darkness only exists where there is no light. And you, chosen one, you are the light. Your words carry fire. Your prayers shake dimensions. Your presence shifts atmospheres. And whether the world knows your name or not, the spirit realm does. They know who you are. They recognize your voice in the heavenlies. And the dark spirits, they remember who you used to be, easy to fool, quick to doubt, afraid of your own gift. But they don't recognize this version of you. This version moves in silence and strikes with spiritual authority. This version doesn't beg for peace. This version commands it. This version doesn't ask the dark to leave. This version forces it into submission. And here's the truth. They were never in control. God always was. The enemy had permission, but only to push you deeper, only to awaken your potential, only to make sure you'd never settle for a surface-level life again. Now you know too much. You've seen too much. You've survived too much. And that kind of survivor doesn't just walk away. They'd walk in power. And that power forces even the dark to bow. The demons can't stop your blessing. They're now clearing the path for it. The curses can't stick to you. Your obedience made you untouchable. And the very forces that meant you harm, they're now working behind the scenes, unknowingly helping you step into everything God promised. That's the plot twist. That's what's been exposed. The enemy didn't win. He worked for you. He tried to delay you and only built your discipline. He tried to distract you and only made you hungrier for God. He tried to destroy you and only introduced you to your deeper self. Now you understand why the warfare was so intense, why it felt personal. Because it was personal. Your light threatened hell. Your obedience disrupted the system. Your faith was dangerous. And now it's deadly. To every lie, to every trap.